Right, so we've had Gravity Show's Golf being dropped off here. We're going to be doing sort of a TCR-esque build on it for the guys. Chucking a couple of custom touches in there as well. So yeah, we've done quite a few of these now, and it'll be interesting for everyone to see. Usually when cars get dropped off to us, they come in a lot less strip state than this, but Don's actually done a very good job of getting everything out. He's even done all the under seal for us. So next job for us is we're going to get all of the bracketry drilled out, seat rails drilled out, everything out of the back, any excess weight that doesn't need to be there, it's all going to get cut out. Then we'll start installing the cage, installing the new seat rails, and then we've got a few little custom touches that we're going to do as well in it, which will all become clear later. Right, so being able to put new seat rails into this car is perfect. It's going to complement the OBP pedal box. The driver's going to be sat lower down, further back. The pedals are a little bit higher, which means that the driver's going to be in a lower, sort of more racy position. We're going to have to make a custom heel plate to go around this pedal box, and we're also going to be making a quick adjustment system for the pedal box to be able to move it forwards and backwards. Custom rack's going to be mounted to a dash bar, which is going to be integrated into the cage, and the angle of that and the positioning is all going to need to be changed from standard because the driver's not going to be in the same place. So I'm going to have to go and do some thinking. Right, so the first job in getting all of this designed is obviously to mock up the actual pedal box itself. Now this is a bottom mounted pedal box. The reservoirs and the master cylinders are mounted underneath the pedals. So this means that we're going to need to mount it up off the floor, have a raised pedal heel plate on there for your feet to go onto. Now the spec of this car requires as well for the heel plate and the pedal box to be quick adjustable. So once this has been drawn up, great thing about building everything in CAD is that we're going to be able to mock everything up, see how it's all going to work, and check all of the adjustments before anything's actually cut and made. So yeah, let's get some designing done.
Rough idea, yeah, we're saying rough idea when you were sent that.
Wow, 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 wow.
Do you know rough idea you were sent that go,
Right, so the lower profile of the pedal box has all been drawn up. I've mocked up the quick adjustment, so it's going to be bobbined at the back and bolted at the front. So all that will need to be done is the bolt's nipped out of the front, the whole pedal box will then be loose. You'll be able to slide it and just move it forwards or backwards to whatever position's right. We've got about 160mm of adjustment in there. So next job is, I've overlaid the 3D scan of the car, I put the model in, and we need to just make sure that the rails for the pedal box perfectly contoured to the floor so there's no gaps when we're welding them in. Otherwise we'll start blowing holes in the metal. We don't want to be doing that. So yeah, I think we'll make a little prototype, fit it into the car, see if we're happy with it, and take it from there. part of the build. We're going to be designing a TCR-esque style wing mount. So they're going to be using a TCR wing profile, so all the mounting points are going to be relatively the same. We already do a kit for the Mark 7 Golf, but it bolts to the outside of the boot lid. These guys are going to be having a plastic rear window, trimming it through, so same as the actual factory TCR builds. So we've welded some brackets into the car. I've 3D scanned the inside and the outside of the boot lid. I'm going to be designing some bracketry for them to be able to mount it. It's going to be a split mount, so there's going to be half of it in the boot, half of it outside of the boot, so the wing can be unbolted and the boot can be opened. Got it scanned. I've got an idea of how I think it's going to look, so I'll start designing. I'll do a force test on it, make sure it'll withstand all the forces, and we'll see how it turns out. So what I've done so far is I've taken the hard mounting points, I've designed sort of the rough outer geometrical profile, and now what we're going to do is some FEA. Stands for finite element analysis, but what it means is I can apply a material and I can apply a force to this. What it's going to do is it's going to show me where all the load paths are, show me where I can take material out to make it as light as possible, while still meaning that we can make it deflect as little as possible. The stiffer and the stronger that it is, the less it's going to deflect and the more consistent the aero is going to be. So the minimum areas and the maximum areas around the outside. So this area in the centre is not being used pretty much at all. This area around the back side is in tension because it's pulling back and it's pushing down, so it's hard mounted top and bottom, pulling backwards, pushing down, so we can take material out of the centre and we can keep the material along the outside here, and we can add a webbing in the middle which should hopefully transmit the forces. So I've had a little mess about with the model, a little mess about with the force testing, sort of realigned the triangulation a few times to get the load path pretty perfect. Got them down to 671 grams a side, so that's about 1.3 kilos for the wing mounts. Minimum factory safeties 8, and the maximum displacement, so the greatest amount it's going to bend under 150 kilo force downwards and some downforce on it, is 0.8 of a millimetre, so I'm happy with that. So the mounting system's been finished. We've finished off the inside mounts, finished off the outer mounts, checked all the clearances, done all of the force tests relevant. We'll get to cutting them now, and if you want to see these fitted to the car at Gravity, then book your tickets, come down, see the car, see the work that's gone into it. We'll see you there. So this is our side of the Slammed UK Gravity Golf, finished. It's got a full MSUK spec welding cage, a few other little bits which we'll get into some more detail on. This is going to be on display at the Gravity Show in August, 24th and 25th. It's quite a sight to behold. Hell of a lot of work's gone into this, and there's a hell of a lot of work to come by a few other companies before it gets to the show. So we'll take you through it, show you what we've done. So the cage fitted into this, it's an absolute monster. It's aiding the chassis in every single way. It's got dual lower rear stays in it, A-pillar supports, A-pillar to main hoop, a hoop cross, full roof triangulation. This chassis is as stiff as it can possibly get. We've got some other extras in here as well. We've got air jack boxes. Air jacks are going into the car. This means that they can lift the car up, do brake changes, tyre changes as quick as possible. It's got the mountings for an external fuel cell as well. That's going to have a firewall placed over it. It's in the back of the car. One of the specs as well was to get the driver as low as possible. So we've put TCR rails into it. This is going to aid as well with the pedal box. The pedal box is higher and it's a lot further back than it was. That's meant that we've needed to move the driver further back, move the column further back and drop the column down lower. We've also put some adjustment into these as well, so that they can fine tune the driver position, get the driver as central, as far back as possible. It's going to help the centre of gravity a lot, make the car better, make it feel better, aid in weight distribution. So the pedal box is adjustable on a hook and bolt system. It's got a hook and a bobbin at the front. It's got 2 bolts at the rear. So to adjust the pedal box, bolts are taken out of the rear. Pedal box is lifted up and out, and then be re-slotted back in. A different adjustment, bolts positioned back in. This means it can be relatively quickly changed between drivers without having to change the seating position. Same with the column. Column can be changed as well. So the column was provided to us by the guys at Gravity. It's come out of a GT86 race car. So we've put some height adjustment into there, as well as at the rear. So the whole column, the whole angle of it could be adjusted, suit the driver, get it perfect. We've made the whole column and the dash bar completely removable as well. This should aid in them putting whatever they need to back into the car before it gets built up. So we've placed the air jack filler and the fuel tank filler in the rear quarters. This means that there's quick access to be able to fill up the tank and also to be able to put the air jack lance in to lift the car up. It's a nice, easy way of doing it. Saves you having to open doors, open the boot to do it. It's just right there. Fitting plastic windows into these, so these will be trimmed around. Nice, finished off fitment.